Hello everyone, welcome back to GGS Gamer. I'm John, I'm joined here by Vicky.
Hello.
And Vicky, continuing our trip down memory lane with our visit to Namco the other week, we are
Yeah.
looking at Code Vein. So, best way of putting it, it does feel like manga Bloodborne, I want to say.
I want to kind of say it looks a little bit like Nier with the art style, combined with Bloodborne.
Yeah, I think and they're all vampires.
Yeah, I mean, graphically it looks pretty. We didn't get a whole good look at the monsters. It was mostly struggling to stay alive, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. We've got some interesting monster designs, and the cave environment. It's nice. It's interesting to look at. I mean, I don't know whether there's a whole lot of exploration or whether it's just a demo, but it gets a bit samey because it's so linear, and I want to know a bit more about it and see more of it before I can even pass judgment on this, because this could just be one level.
Yeah, I think that's, we only got, actually that's a good point actually, we should say that we got given a very specific part of the game to play. So we weren't kind of just dropped in and then told, run around, see how far you get or anything. I think we had 20 minutes to play.
Yeah, we got kicked out after the demo kicked us out after 20 minutes. And I don't even know if this is early in the game. I don't know if this is midway. I don't know where this takes place.
Yeah.
In the gameplay at all.
So yeah, I think the little part that we did get to kind of run through, it was kind of like a spiraled cliff kind of thing.
Yeah, like a
cliffside. And what I would
say,
okay, yeah, so the setting itself might not have been the best, but I think the wider surroundings did look really nice. I mean, we got some nice little vista shots, and the characters themselves actually, and the monsters.
Yeah, the designs are nice.
Yeah, the character models and for enemies as well, really nice, really in keeping with, why people I think are quite excited about this, is that it is very much in keeping with that cool classic kind of manga style, which I'm quite.
And there's a lot of variety for the enemies as well. There's a lot of different designs, which was nice to see.
Yeah, I will be quite interested to see the different, just how varied the enemies are, and obviously with that, just how varied those environments are as well, because yes, whilst we were getting a very specific part here, if that is the kind of continuation throughout the game, it's going to get, I don't think anyone will be into that. No one wants the same environment just running around again and again.
No.
And I don't think, I think actually, I say that, that's obviously not going to be the case. I mean, there's going to be a lot of other areas to explore, I'd imagine. So I think the best way of putting it is I'm quite excited to see where else this game goes, because it was very much a demo setting this. I think that's probably the best way of doing it, right, Vic?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to judge on such a kind of short period of time. And I don't know whether it's the same kind of thing I said about the Detroit demo, where, functionally it's fine, it's showing us some of the gameplay, but because it's so specific to the part, I'm not actually sure this was the best choice for the demo, because it's a lot of wandering around a very linear path. It's trying to work out the very fiddly controls as well. So you're already trying to focus on, you don't get to focus on as much kind of, oh, this looks nice, or what's over here, when there's about 11 million different combos to do, and you can't take anything in because you're too busy trying to work out, okay, well, that's just wiped out half my HP. So how do I heal? How do I block? How do I use my partner? The thing keeps telling me what all these items I'm picking up. It's very overwhelming, especially for a demo.
So, first thoughts on combat. How did it feel when you were fighting those enemies?
Brutal, absolutely brutal. Like, I've used up half the health potions in about 10 minutes. Because the enemies, they hit hard, and it's very much you can't sneak around them very easily. You've got to be ultimately prepared and fight absolutely everything in your path. And I did manage to get to the boss fight at the end, and got about halfway through and got completely wiped. Yeah,
and I think, it depends on if you enjoyed the challenge of Bloodborne and the Dark Souls series, or if it was if you found it a bit too much. But it definitely has that same kind of vibe where every fight, it's not just being able to run and hack and slash. There is still going to be, a lot of strategy. A lot of strategy to it. What I would say actually is that I didn't find it that, as difficult. I think, and what I'm quite interested to see from that is whether or not every time you die, because we were switching you know, we were switching over taking turns for each death. So I would be quite interested to see if the enemies actually get easier every time you die or something like that, because it did feel that it was very tough to begin with, because I watched you play it for a bit, and when I took over, I definitely kind of found the enemies died quicker. So I'm not sure if maybe, you know, yeah, so that's something I'm quite interested in.
And there's also a handful of playable characters as well, because when you're at the start, when you get booted back to after you die, there's like a little save point you can go to, and I think it let you pick between 3 different characters to play as.
Oh, cool.
And I think one of the other ones, and then I think you get one of the other ones to follow you as a partner as well. And I think that links, there's certain button combos you can hit to make them do some sort of assist attack, but I couldn't figure that out in a very crowded hall with 11 other things going on at the same time. But yeah, basically, you can change your partner. Sorry, you can't play as them. You can change your partner to Louis or Lewis, Yakumo or Mia. So you've got 3 other partners. I'm presuming that they'll have varying abilities as well.
Yeah, so be quite interested to see how that actually works out as well. So whether or not they're just like kind of like summon characters or something like that, or if they actually do come with you for the whole time. Because actually,
yeah, and in a way, it could also be kind of like how Final Fantasy 15 did the combat, because it's already, you know, vaguely similar in the fact it's not turn-based. It's you know, like free time combat where you're straight, you know, got free movement. You're not locked into turn-based, and then once you've, you know, leveled, gained enough of whatever, load up a bar, and then you can do a special attack with whoever your partner is at the end. I'm presuming it could be something like that. But I know there were a lot of options to get characters to do other stuff, which we unfortunately didn't get to spend a lot of time on. But I think definitely the possibility is there.
Definitely, yeah. I'm definitely interested to see, just with the combat and just the gameplay in general. Yeah, just how much because obviously they're trying to put their own spin on those kind of games that we already mentioned before in Bloodborne and Dark Souls. So I'm just quite interested to see how much they stick to that original formula.
I mean, I want to know what's going on, because I think, again, this was the part of the problem, was that you know, we didn't get any sort of plot in there at all, and I think that, you know, it's obviously appealing to the fan of Dark Souls, but it's the kind of thing that, you know, I want to know what's going on in this game and why, you know, why I want to play it. I want to know, you know, why everyone's a vampire, why there's weird monsters around, and I think it'll be very interesting to see where they go with this.
Yeah, and actually saying the vampire stuff, so you're actually able to use that in fights. We couldn't manage it because we're not very good at Code Vein, apparently. But it does seem that if you are able to get around the back of the enemy, you're able to use circle. I think we were playing on PlayStation, and you're able to like jump up.
Drain them or something?
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see just how often people are able to use that, and actually how useful it is. Because I've played a few vampire games before, and the blood sucking is always like, you know, the big deal, and then it's always kind of a letdown. It's kind of like, oh, I'm never going to use this because you do no damage and you give me no health, so what's the point?
Well, I mean, I don't know how Vampire, the Don't Nod one, dealt with it, because I think someone's reviewing it somewhere along the line, so I'll be interested to see how they're doing it in that, if that's regained it.
Absolutely. So, last thing we're going to pick up on is going to be the boss fights, because well, actually, more importantly, Vicky, you got the chance to have the boss fight. I didn't get that far. I
tried being the operative word here.
Yeah. So, go on, take us on a guided tour of this boss fight.
Well, you know, it's in a big open arena. It's kind of, you've got the massive boss in the middle, and it seems a lot of it was, you know, dodging the widely ranged attacks. Kind of, it's a lot. Again, I think it's a lot of strategy and a lot of timing. It's definitely not something you can just kind of rush in and try to spam, you know, X with or whatever. That's not going to work. I mean, you've got your partner assisting you as well. I mean, I don't know who I was using, but you know, they've got long range attacks, whereas you're rushing in with the sword as well. And I think I didn't see anything particularly exceptional, again, because with Code Vein there seems to be a lot of different combos and stuff you're supposed to be using, and I think we had the little printout of kind of these are all the combos actually in front of us and marking it out on the controller, and there were a lot of them to try and remember. And you know, you're trying to work out how you're supposed to assist with your partner and all that kind of thing. And I think the combat's definitely going to be very complicated. I think when you've got time to kind of sit down, actually take in what you're doing with it, it's going to massively improve the experience. But
just
when
remembered,
you're
actually.
sitting somewhere with a lot of background noise where you've only got a short amount of time to do it,
Yeah.
it's very complicated to do, as opposed to, we're just talking about jump falls and how nice and simple that is to jump in straight away. I think there is going to be a learning curve with this one, but if it is, a somewhat of a successor to Bloodborne and the like, that's not entirely unexpected.
Yeah, and I think, just actually when I was watching you fight the boss as well, it's like you say, it was that very big kind of open arena. There wasn't any kind of environment apart from the cave itself, from what I remember. So I think, even that, it's kind of, it's separating itself a little bit. It's kind of going back to those conventional kind of boss arenas, which isn't always a great thing. I think, one of the things that people love so much about Bloodborne, especially, was that kind of, very kind of spooky gothic setting, and even the places where you fight the bosses, they're all quite, they're all really unique. So I imagine we'll see that in
It almost
Cocaine.
reminds me of the kind of Kingdom Hearts, the original one, the combat, where you had a lot of bosses in kind of blocked off arenas in a short space.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it kind of reminds me of that. So I think, we're moving away from turn-based and going back to kind of action RPG sort of thing, which is not a bad thing at all. It's nice to see them branching out a bit.
Yeah, and actually, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what genre they actually go for with this as well. Whether they go for, because it definitely, from what we've seen, I wouldn't class this as an RPG. It definitely feels more along the lines of like a borderline ARPG and just traditional action game. Because for me, I don't think there's going to be too much. I don't think we're going to see too many conventions of RPGs in there. It definitely feels more like it's going to go down that Bloodborne route. And for me, I don't class Bloodborne as an RPG. I'm just going to throw that out there now. Yeah. So I think, for me, going back to the boss fights though, is that, I just hope that they do kind of, with the bosses, they do try and make a bigger deal with it, because I think what sprung out for me is that it did just kind of come out of nowhere. I think it did pretty much happen. You just ran into this room and this boss appeared. There wasn't really any kind of like big reveal.
You could also teleport actually to skip the whole. You could skip the whole very linear, exploration system where I presume you're tracking towards the boss and you've got kind of all the enemies in your way. You have to clear out to get there. But from the save point at the start, you could actually portal in and just try the boss fight.
Ooh, okay. Then, as a gameplay feature, I'm not, entirely against that.
I'm not sure if that's just a demo thing or not, though.
Maybe. But if that does make it into the final game, I think a lot of people. Well, that's going to split a lot of people. I think actually, if that made it into the game, you'd have just that's not what these games are for. But I think for a casual player, or someone who doesn't want to just feel like they're getting beaten over the head constantly, it's going to be quite nice just to have that. Okay, well, I've already done all the hard work, so being able to go straight to the boss fight.
Especially if you died multiple times as well.
Exactly. So I think it'll be handy if you need to go back and grind or something like that, or if you need to get resupplies and know that you can get back to that point where you were beforehand already.
Definitely.
So that's quite nice. What did you make of it? Early impressions then?
It's very hard to say. I mean, I think the combat's a bit too overly complicated, but that is, again, we're not in the best position to judge, because obviously you can't really focus on it too much when you're in such a busy environment. I want to see what the plot is, and with that I'll basically determine whether I'm interested in it, because I'm not too keen on overly complicated combat. But I think if you like that kind of thing, if you like strategy kind of action games, you liked the kind of thing that Bloodborne did, I reckon that you'll enjoy picking this up. But I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm holding fire until I know a little bit more about what this game's about before I have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you along the same lines actually, Vicky. Yeah, I think that it's definitely, there's a lot of good stuff going on with it, and I am quite excited about it now, because I've been hearing a lot of good things about it for a long time. And simply because people always kind of compared it to Dark Souls and Bloodborne, it kind of made me just think, it's a manga clone. So to see that it's going along those lines, but still being able to put its own twist on it in some ways. So we've obviously got the vampire aspect of it. The manga aspect it's still quite a defining feature for it as well. I think a lot of people that will attract a lot of new players, I think, simply because
Definitely,
it does
yeah.
add a new layer to it. The combat as well, I think, you know, I didn't find it too bad. I found it quite fluid at times, actually. I would say that. I think
Yeah.
being able to string combos together, I know that obviously we got really confused by the controls, and I actually remember when you first picked up the game, I was looking at the controls and thinking, oh no, this is gonna be bad. But
Yeah.
as we were running through, just, you know, you're able to string a couple of basic combos together, which obviously won't do much good when it comes to a boss fight. But if you're trying to get through a crowd of, like, you know, 2 or 3 monsters, it does seem like you can kind of, like, you know, luck your way through it a little bit. So having a bit more balance in terms of gameplay rather than just pure challenge where, you know, every fight feels like a miniature boss fight, I'm
Yeah.
quite happy to see that. So I think this is definitely going to be something that people will try it, and maybe if they haven't played Bloodborne or Dark Souls yet, maybe Code Vein is the game to see whether or not you're inclined to that kind of, you know.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah. So I'd say yes, it looks like it's gonna be worth a go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. So it's something interesting. It's something, a bit more unique than the usual lineup. So yeah, I'll hold judgment until I've played a bit more.
yeah. And speaking of something that's a bit different to the usual lineup, Vicky, you know what else people should do after they finish watching this video?
I don't know, go play Jurassic Park because I'm very excited
No,
about the
no,
dinosaurs.
Vicky, no. Stop talking about always talking about Jurassic Park. Bloody hell.
They gave me pre-order bonus and I got stickers. It was
That's
it made my
terrible.
day.
It's
Tell
absolutely
you.
terrible. That's a terrible bonus. It's a terrible game. But what people should do is maybe leave us a like, leave us a comment if they enjoyed this video, tell us what you're looking forward to about Code Vein or why, you know, we're absolutely wrong in our early impressions of it. And if you like the videos we make and want to see more of them, you can easily subscribe, which is cool. And we've got loads of other videos, so, you know, if you're bored at work or at home, give them a watch.